Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Got
Bill.
Amy.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for your time today.
Thank you. All right. Well, we're getting settled. Let me run through a couple quick things. If you haven't already, let's go ahead and turn those electronic devices on silent or turn them off. There is a NCAA Digital Media Hub. There's where you can find the quotes that are provided at the press conferences from ASAP. It also has video that you can utilize from Hammond Communications. As a reminder, no video is allowed to be taken in this auditorium, photos only. The way we're going to go ahead and run today's press conference is as soon as I do introductions, we're going to take an opening statement from Coach, and then we're going to begin our Q&A. I'd like to go ahead and introduce Iowa State head coach, Bill Finley. Coach, when you're ready.
Well, thank you. It is a tremendous honor for Iowa State to be here. We want to thank everyone in Greensboro. It's been phenomenal, and our kids have looked forward to this for a long time. After last year's disappointment, coming up 2 points short to get to this level. So for us and our men to both be playing in the Sweet 16 is a tremendous thing, and we just can't be more excited about the opportunity, and I just really thank our team for getting me here. That's the best part of it.
Wonderful. Let's take questions. We do have a microphone holder. We'll get you the mic. Please give us your name and affiliation. We're going to start on the left-hand side.
How did you guys get to be as successful as a three-point shooting team as you are? Some of it is obviously natural skill of the players, and they work hard, but obviously you have to also do a good job getting the right shots to have the percentages you do.
No, it is a big part of the way we've always played. We work very hard on game shots, game speed kind of thing. We work on it every single day, every single player. A lot of it is the spacing that we work on, our ability to rotate when the ball rotates. Obviously, when you have a player of Ashley Jones' caliber, we see a lot of double teams, which opens up the court. But it's just been something that we recruit to and we build daily. My staff spends a lot of time in our individual work with our kids, and they like doing it.
Take our next question from right here in front.
Tommy Birch, Des Moines, Rochester.
Thanks
Bill,
for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You too, Connor. Thank you.
Obviously, throughout the season, the key has kind of been having Ashley, Lex, and Emily, but it seems like at times kind of the difference maker has been maybe a fourth person not emerging. How important is that going to be Friday night?
No, I think anytime you get to this level or any kind of one game scenario, where it's win or go home kind of thing, there's always going to be someone that does something that maybe they don't do or not capable of doing every single game, but they do it, hit one shot, hit a free throw, make a big play. Those are the stories that make this tournament so special. Obviously, you have certain people that are the core of what you do and how you do it, and they're the ones that are going to sit up here in a minute and get the attention. But there's always got to be someone that makes a play or two, and it's happened for us. It certainly happened for us in the Arlington game. It happened in the Georgia game, and hopefully it'll happen against Creighton.
Take our next question from the far left aisle.
Gabe Avery from Her Hoop Stats. I have two questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
One comes from Lindsay Gibbs. She wanted to know how you addressed the NIL situation coming into this year and how you've helped your players navigate it, if that's been at all a focus for you.
The NIL thing is we had a lot of meetings early. Jamie Pollard, our athletic director, made a really great presentation to each individual team. We've talked to our kids about it. It's not something that we're overwhelmed with. We're in kind of a smaller market probably. But we have a couple kids that have gotten some benefit from it, some T-shirts, things like that. But we probably have not spent as much time as maybe others. But we've talked to our team about it. We've given them an outline. We've tried to be smart about, don't just get all excited and think you're going to get rich and say yes to everything. Evaluate what are the strengths of each individual opportunity. And then, I think because it's still new, we're still working through it. But some of our kids have benefited from it, yes.
Thanks, Coach. And then my second question is about the court. Creighton plays this kind of, it's not necessarily 5 out, but they do play like 5 guards. You guys have seen that a little bit with Oklahoma. I was just wondering what was the scouting process for this game, and did you go back to any Oklahoma tape at all?
It's similar to Oklahoma. You're right. I think we went more back to when we played UNI, Drake, South Dakota State. It's not a style we see a lot in the Big 12 because our league has some really good post players. So you really have to try and find the right matchup. And the other thing you have to do is you can't really overthink it. Everyone's going to talk about Creighton's going to make all these threes. I'm more worried about how many layups they're going to make, how many foul shots they're going to make. They're going to make some threes. Hopefully we make some too. But it is a difficult thing. And the one thing I would say too is it's a very hard thing to simulate with a scout team. They don't run set plays that you can practice. So we have a phenomenal group of guys, scout team guys, and they did a great job for 2 days. I don't think they did as great a job as Creighton, but at least they gave us a pretty good look.
Right down here, right in the front.
Jeff Dubroff, KCCI in Des Moines.
Thanks for
Coach.
coming, Jeff.
Absolutely. You talked about the game on Sunday that this is something you wanted more maybe in your entire professional career. Now that it's here, it's kind of set in. What's the mood been like? How is the team and kind of coming into this? Is there nerves or is it more excitement?
Oh, it's so exciting. I think I've thanked them 50 times for getting me here. This is like the coolest thing ever. I mean, I'm at a point in my career where, you're not going to do this many more times, if ever. And I just told them they have to enjoy this. This is, everything about it. You got a police escort, how cool is that? It's just everything, the hotel, and you walk into this facility, and it's just, everything about it is great. And what I've told our kids is, when we met, we had a little walkthrough. We had study tables this morning, had a little walkthrough. We're going to practice, and then we're going to relax and enjoy it and watch the men's games and have a nice dinner and celebrate the work that goes into it. Because if you don't do that, then why are we doing it? Sometimes you get so crazy about every little detail. You got to enjoy it, and Friday night we'll let it rip and see what happens.
As a reminder, we'll continue taking questions. If you are joining us on Zoom and you have a question, please use the raised hand function. I'm going to go right next here in the front row.
Connor from Cycling Fanatic. Bill, thanks for having us. I don't know if you really have a choice to, but appreciate it either way.
You're welcome.
When you have Nye kind of banged up and Beatrice as well, how much does it help you in this spot, just talking about the next 40 minutes, to not face off with a big physical post player?
I don't know if it makes that much difference. I do think, Friday night will be okay. Nye will be fine. She's playing with a mask. She does have a broken nose, but she's playing with a mask, and she's handled it pretty well. B has not done anything yet. We're going to see how she does today. I'm assuming she'll be available as soon as I know for sure. I'll tell you right after practice. But we're good to go. Everyone's in the same boat. They have 8 months to rest. So we're all going to show up and play on Friday night.
Take our next question from the center again.
Bill, when it kind of comes to that X factor, that fourth person kind of emerging, who have you kind of seen maybe in the days leading up to this that are possible candidates for that?
Well, I think right off the bat, it would, Nye would be your first thought. But I think this is a game where Aubrey and Maggie could impact it a little bit, to space the floor. We'll probably have to play small from time to time. But the way Nye's been playing, and to her credit, she broke her nose late in the third quarter, and we didn't put her back in, obviously, but she's handled it really well in practice. So I think she's excited to play, and she played against Creighton when she was at Butler. So I think she probably has a little more personal knowledge of them. So if I had to pick someone, I'd say Nye would be someone to look for.
Back over here on our far left in the aisle.
Bill, you guys as a 3 seed were seeded as far as expected to be here in the Sweet 16, but this is not a bracket that went 1, 2, 3, 4. There were a few things that didn't go according to plan. How much does that help you think from a perception for the tournament that it's not the same predictable teams? And for you guys as a 3 seed, is there any pressure in that regard of you're playing one of the upstarts in this tournament?
Well, I would say it's great for the tournament. Obviously, it's easy to say when you're one of the seeded teams that advance, but I do think it's great for the tournament. I think that's what makes March Madness what it is. All of us who love this tournament, this is the greatest sporting event in the world to me, is the NCAA basketball tournament. And what you see, like our men are playing, in a 10-11 game. Those are the stories that make it great for the casual person. And I think for women's basketball, that's a good thing, to see what South Dakota did. I mean, we scrimmaged South Dakota in a close scrimmage, and I'm not surprised that they're where they are. And certainly North Carolina doing what they did. So I think it's a great Ohio State. I mean, those are things that help at least draw some interest from maybe a little more casual fan base and gets other people excited. So I think it's a great thing.
Follow up?
Yes, sir.
Is there pressure, though, when you're playing one of the upstarts in a tournament like that?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think when you get to this level, it's not a surprise. Everyone who advances in this tournament is playing at a certain level, playing well. We know how good Creighton is and the games that they've won. So I've always been one of those people that the number next to your name is all about the colored jersey that you wear. It has nothing to do with who's good and who's not good. It's about matchups to me. And the 3 means we wear white, and the 10 means they wear blue. After that, it doesn't really matter to me.
Other side of the aisle?
Coach, you mentioned not overthinking it on defense. Just wondering how hard it is to not do that on offense. I feel like coaches are tinkerers and like to make adjustments. How do you stay with what you've been doing all season, but then also adjust as the tournament goes on?
To be quite blunt about it, I am one of those people that likes to tinker a lot. And luckily, I have a staff that's that's enough. We're at we met this morning, and I'm like, what about? And they just all of them. We've been together. My staff's been together a long time. Well, obviously, one of them's been with me his whole life. So, and one of them played for me, and I walked her down the aisle when she got married. And the other one I hired right out of college, and so we've been together a lot. And I had 8 sets of eyeballs just looking at me like, please stop. So, it's kind of like what I get at home from my wife sometimes. So that's enough. We're good, but hopefully not too much. Just throw the ball to Ashley Jones. That'll be our secret.
One row back.
Sorry.
Hey, Coach Claire Goodwin. I'm asking on behalf of Keith Murphy from WHO. 28
Who?
wins for you guys.
Who?
Keith Murphy, WHO.
Keith Murphy. Okay.
Des Moines. I'm from Greensboro. Anyway, so 20,
it's okay.
28 win season for you guys. How do you translate that in-season success to the postseason, especially when fatigue can sometimes come in March?
I think, for us, it's always been, and I know this is going to be the ultimate cliche and bore people, and these guys who follow us a lot know, we have been a next 40-minute mentality all year long. And what we've told our kids is we're writing a book, and every game is a chapter in the book, and some chapters aren't as good, and some are really good, but it's all about the next 40 minutes, and you work your ever-loving you-know-what off to get to this point, and we are not, it's embrace who you are and don't apologize for what you're not. And at 9:39 or whatever time we play Friday night, Iowa State's going to show up and play hard and hopefully good enough to win a game, but we are going to play hard and we're going to play the right way.
We're going to take a question from Zoom. Matt, please go ahead and give us your name and affiliation, your question.
Yeah, Matt DeMarinis, White and Blue Review from Omaha. Coach Finley, I was just wondering, this Creighton Iowa State series used to be pretty regular in the 90s and the early 2000s. I just wonder, when you look at the teams now, how different do they look in terms of style of play and just where their programs are at compared to when they used to go at it every year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think they're that different. We used to play Creighton every year, and then conference affiliations changed. We play UNI, Drake, and Iowa every year. The Big 12 went to 18 conference games, so we ended up not playing Creighton. But I think their style of play is eerily the same. We had some really good games with them. I think it's probably been 10, 12 years since we played, but I don't see their style being that different.
Come right down here, back to the middle.
Bill, you would talk a lot about the importance of defense, especially in this game, and Lexi's been a valuable part of that. How will you try to utilize her in this? I guess, what's kind of your defensive game plan with her?
No, we're going to use Lex on a lot of different people. I think, I think Lex can defend, 3 or 4 different people on their team. They don't have, overwhelming size that she can't match up with. So we're going to move her around. I think obviously she is someone that we build our defensive game plan around. If someone gets hot, we can move her to another person. I think Emily can do that as well. So Lex will be on a lot of different people throughout the game. I would say at least 3. The way and again, who knows how the game goes? There's always foul situations and who handles things differently. But she'll be out there guarding a lot of different people.
Coach, that concludes today's press conference. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your
Appreciate y'all
afternoon.
being here.
We'll be joined momentarily by the Iowa State student athletes, Ashley Jones, Lexi Donarski, and Emily Ryan. Oh, so there's like 2 people that we thought that it was somebody else? We thought that he thought she was asking from somebody else. Right, because he thought it was somebody from their area? Got it. Got it.
He works for a station called WHO, so I think when he said who, he was, but I didn't.
Got it. Got it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Hi.
Hi.
Come on up.
I'm on the far side.
Ashley, Lexi, Emily. Fantastic. Oh, gosh. All right. We'll go ahead and start with the Q&A. We also have a whole bunch of folks that are joining us on Zoom, so we will toggle back and forth between questions here. And again, for our folks that are on Zoom, please use the raised hand function. We'll start off right here on the side, on the aisle. Please give us your name and affiliation, and then let us know who your question is directed at.
Well, this is for all 3 of you. I'm Gabe Ebering from Her Stats. I was just wondering, what's the challenge been like preparing for Creighton, and what do they do that, you guys have had to work on?
Let's go ahead and start with Ashley.
Yeah, Creighton's a pretty similar team to us. They like to shoot 3, so just kind of understanding their personnel, and they run a lot of motion offense, so just kind of understanding what they like to do and their tendencies.
Yeah, like what Ash said, they really shoot the 3 well, and they're also super, super active without the ball, setting lots of screens and cuts. So that'll definitely be something that we'll have to focus on defensively.
Emily, anything to add?
No, they pretty much covered it. Yeah, they're a really good team, really active, and can obviously shoot the 3 ball well. So.
Come right down here in the front, middle.
Tommy Birch, Des Moines Register. Lexi, Coach Finley was talking about how important you're going to play defensively in this game. What kind of unique challenge does Creighton offer from that side of it? And I guess where's it kind of match up with some of the other things you've had to face defensively this year?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is the way that they shoot the three. That's different from what we've seen for quite a few games now. Most of the teams we've been playing are really more focused on attacking than shooting the three. So that'll be the biggest adjustment. You just got to stay at least one step closer and have your hand up.
Come right down here to the front.
Jeff Dubroff, KCCI in Des Moines. Ashley, we didn't get to talk to you after the game on Sunday, but I feel like this is a moment for you that's a long time coming, getting to the Sweet 16 after being so close last year, and then obviously COVID the year before that. Just what have the last 72 hours been like for you and getting here? And Coach Finley was talking about, you know, the police escort and all that type of stuff and all the cool things. Just what has it been like for you?
Yeah, it's been really exciting, especially with the team. I think we have a really close group, and just kind of getting to experience it with them has been a lot of fun. And we just want to keep getting better and trying to get further into the tournament. So our next game coming up, and we got to focus on that. And when it's time to focus, it's business time. And when afterwards, we can kind of relax, have some fun, and get ready to go.
Take our next question from right over here on the aisle.
Hey, Clara Goodwin here with Foxy in Greensboro. Iowa State, one of three to have the men and the women in the Sweet 16. I was wondering if any of you have shared that excitement with the guys and also what it says about Iowa State to have both sides represent.
Ashley, can you start?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting for all of Iowa State, just to kind of see where the men's program was at last year and kind of the improvement they've had this year. And to be able to see them get to experience the Sweet 16 as well is exciting for them and exciting for us. So we're both excited to see how each team does.
Emily?
Yeah, it brings a lot of energy to Ames. There was a little buzz on campus this week when we were in class. So just having two teams in Sweet 16 is something that doesn't happen very often. And I'm glad our fans get to experience it. And we're going to come out ready to play tomorrow.
Anything to add, Lexi?
Yeah, I mean, Sukup's just been a really fun place to be at. There's a lot of excitement. Everyone's working hard to get ready for these next games.
We'll go back here in the middle, fourth row.
Bob Sutton with the News and Record. Maybe for Lexi and Emily. Nye is wearing a mask, I understand. How does this, is it a unique mask or just a generic one? Or what does she look like, or how does that play out?
Emily?
Yeah, she did break her nose, so she's wearing a mask, and she's handled it really, really well. I don't know if I'd be able to handle it as well as she has. She's been practicing with it, and I honestly can't even tell a difference in the way she's been playing. She's still aggressive in there, so credit to her and how tough she's been this week, and I'm ready to play with her tomorrow.
Lexi?
Yeah, like what Em said, I mean, her nose is broken in 3 spots, and we haven't even been able to tell a difference. She hasn't missed a day of practice or anything like that. She's been ready to go and looking really solid.
You want to chime in, Ashley?
Just kind of what they said. She hasn't looked any different. She's still out there trying to help the team and impact success in any way. So it's been really great to see her kind of continue to attack this, even though she has a broken nose and has to wear a mask.
Right in the front here.
Connor Ferguson from Cyclone Fanatic. You guys were kind of talking about Creighton and playing that similar style. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but teams like Oklahoma, Drake, teams that can shoot like that, you guys have upended them both defensively and offensively all year. Does that give you a little bit more confidence or moxie coming into this game?
Lexi, let's start with you.
Yeah, it helps that we have played teams that have a similar offensive style to them. I mean, we just have to be prepared for their personnel specifically coming into this game. But it does help to have some experience with teams that are as active and shoot it as well as they do.
Ashley?
Yeah, like Lexi said, it kind of helps having played teams that have similar offense as Creighton, but Creighton's their own team, and we just have to focus on their personnel and take it one game at a time here.
Anything to add, Emily?
No,
All
that
right.
pretty much covered it.
We're going to go next to the far left on the aisle.
Aaron Beard with the AP. This is for Lexi. Obviously, in Iowa, the state of Iowa, you know a lot about the other team from the Big Ten that didn't make it here. I'm curious, when Creighton wins a game like that, how much is, they're a lower seed, but do you take notice of that and say, wow, you can't take a team lightly in this tournament? Does that leave that impression on you when you see something like that?
Yeah, we've always been focused on the next game, and we don't really worry about who that opponent's going to be because we're focused on the game that's next for us. So they've beaten a lot of good teams throughout this season, so we know that we really need to focus in, buy into our scouting report, and play a good game tomorrow.
Go back here on the aisle.
There were 4 players who scored in double figures against Georgia. I know this team has a lot of depth. How important is it to know whoever you're passing it to, they can score, everyone can defend?
Emily, can you start?
Yeah, it was good to have balanced scoring against Georgia for sure. When we're playing like that, I think that's when we're at our best. So just knowing we have several options on the offensive end makes it harder for teams to guard us. And just knowing that there can be a different person that's hot every night is really a benefit to us for sure.
Let's go take our next question down in the front.
For all of you, but what has Morgan brought to the table this year?
Ashley, let's start with you.
Yeah, it's been great to see Mo kind of grow throughout her 4 years here, and just from last year to this year, towards the end of the season, she had to play a big role, and just to see that she's kind of understood her role a little better this year, and she knows where to get into the right spots at the right times, and so it's been really fun just to watch her continue to grow, and I think each game she gets a little better.
Lexi?
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch her grow. I mean, she's gotten a lot better at finishing and scoring on her defender, and she also knows the right time to kick the ball out for an open 3.
Emily?
Yeah, just seeing the way she's worked so hard in the off season and throughout this season, and to see her growth is something that I'm really glad is happening for her because she works so hard with it. So just seeing the hard work pay off for her is something that I'm really glad we're able to witness.
Go back here onto the aisle to Aaron. You're good? Right here, middle, second row.
As for Ashley, you've put so much time and effort and dedication to this program. Finally here at the Sweet 16. I mean, have you had a chance to kind of take it in, even though I know you're focusing on the game and all that? Have you had a chance to take in all the work you've done to get yourself and this program here?
Yeah, a little bit, just kind of understanding where it all started as a little kid, and kind of seeing the dream kind of continue to grow, and just where we're at now. And it's been exciting to be here with this team. We're really close, so just kind of getting to experience it with them, like I said. And of course, the game's a huge part, so just focusing in and knowing we got to take that next step and continue to get better and ready for this game.
Take our question right behind.
Creighton coming in as a 10 seed, they're kind of making a Cinderella run, but March is a really dangerous time to be hot. How do you keep yourselves from underestimating what they can do?
Emily?
Yeah, they're an incredibly talented team. Anyone that makes the tournament in the first place is going to be really, really good. But to be in the Sweet 16, it shows a lot of their program and how they do things. So they're a great opponent, and we're going to have to play really well to beat them. And today we're going to have a really good practice so we can get ready to do that.
Lexi?
We don't overlook anyone, and we always take it one game at a time. We're not focused on the future or anything, just the game at hand. So we've been focusing on Creighton, who's a really solid team and has made a great run in this tournament, and we're excited to get to play.
Ashley?
I think they covered it.
Okay.
I just repeated the same thing. So.
Any further questions for our student athletes? We'll go back over here to Bob.
Ashley, was that the team's maybe best defensive game the other day against Georgia? Looks like it may have been on the surface, and is that something that maybe makes you guys even tougher?
Yeah, I think our defense plays a big role into how well we play. So when we can get some stops, then it kind of translates into our offense. So I think we have to take a lot of pride in our defense and really buying into our scouting report and come ready to go.
Last call? All right, Emily, Ashley, and Lexi, thank you guys very much. Enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, ladies. All right, that concludes our third press conference today. I said it to you guys.